You're right at the end of X,
I'm right at the end of Gen X, starting at the end of millennial.
Yeah, I'm a young millennial. Then you have Father, who's an elder millennial, along with Jesse. Nick is right there in the middle. He's just a straight up millennial. He's not young or old. He's in there. And then you got Diana.
She's been around.
The Italian girl in the church. She's wearing this cool Italian T-shirt. It's got the Italian flag on it. Yes. Is Diana Italian?
Oh, yeah.
Very
much so. Yeah, she brought over paperwork one day of her mom's stuff. Yeah.
Very good. Well, anyway, she's cleaning the church right now, so shout out to Diana. We appreciate you and how you clean and keep things so tidy and neat.
And that you love cherry-flavored Twizzlers.
Yes. If you come to the office and you have not given up candy for Lent, or if you come on St. Patrick's Day or on Monday, which is the bishop day. Moved it so that we could celebrate more. So if candy is your Lenten sacrifice, the fasting part of prayer, fasting, and almsgiving, you can come on in and we will give you some cherry-flavored licorice, because that's Diana's favorite, so we got a bunch.
Yeah.
So Diana?
Or just some gummy bears.
Very good. But this podcast, believe it or not, is not about Diana. It's about St. Jude's and the Church Bulletin. So welcome to the Church Bulletin podcast. I'm Tim. I'm one of the parish support ministers. This is Sarah. What do you do, Sarah?
A little bit of everything.
She's all over the place.
I love it.
I realized that we stopped introducing ourselves.
Yeah.
And like we've had some newer viewers lately, so hi. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
I deal with faith formation. That's cradle to grave. All, things that way. I love working with all ages of people. And I work in the business area with Father Ross and all the finance stuff. And I don't know. I help out the parish support ministers.
I was going to say,
wherever
support
I
the parish
needed.
Support ministers supporting the parish.
Yes.
As we do in whatever way is needed. Today it's being a podcast personality and a salesman for the Winnevet raffle, which has begun. So you can get your tickets online at winnevet.com. Super exciting. And also I get to be a music person tonight at Celebrate Recovery, leading the praise and worship there. That is a great thing. I love Celebrate Recovery.
Yeah, we share all of our talents and treasures and all that good stuff with and our time too, with all areas of St. Jude Church.
Absolutely.
So,
well, we're not selfish with it though. If you have a talent or a gift, and you see Sarah or myself or any of the other staff doing something, it's not always like a given that we have to do it. So if you have something that you would like to bring to the table or to the parish, please come talk to us. We'd love to have more people involved in more things. So someone the other day, the reason I say is someone after Mass on Sunday mentioned something about how, like they see like me playing music, and they were like, well, that's not something like you're doing it. And I'm like, well, you could do it too, so be sure to not be afraid to approach and to ask and to receive.
So let's start with the cover, even though you opened it up.
Oh, I did open it. I don't know why.
We haven't talked enough about this. We have a great, big, huge parking lot here right next to some great park resources.
Yeah.
And with the eclipse coming on Monday, April 8th, we want to let you know that you probably, if you live in Erie, aren't going to leave your house that day. But if you want to, at 1 o'clock, we're going to have a service here.
Yep.
A mass here.
I don't think it's going to be a mass. I think it's going to be like a prayer
thing.
Like maybe some music.
Sun and moon, bless the Lord.
Yeah. It's based on, I think that's St. Francis who said that.
Yeah. It's going to be a kind of an ecumenical thing. So that way we can welcome anybody. And then if you want to, if you need to park somewhere, so if you're from out of town and you need to park somewhere and you want a safe place, we have 3 great big parking lots and lots of space. We do ask for a $20 donation, so that way we can benefit some of our the stuff that we do here. One of them specifically is the St. Jude Cares Community Fund, where we've been working with a lot this year to help our neighbors, especially in times of need with food and just some things that, come up in the area. Lots of food issues.
Yeah, that is the primary thing, and as time goes on and we get our ducks in a row with St. Jude Cares and get that organized, we're just excited to share some of the stories. Which we, because people don't like us necessarily broadcasting their hardships. So we don't often necessarily tell all of the stories from the St. Jude Cares stuff that we've been doing this year, but it really has been fantastic. So that'll be one thing. But yeah, the eclipse is coming. It's going to be awesome. That's what this is. It's not an eyeball, for those who might think it's an eyeball, like Sarah and I, when we looked at the picture. So feel free to, if you have any questions about that, give us a call. We'd be happy to talk to you about it.
Speaking of call, so turn the page over and there are all our numbers like there are every week where you can reach us on any of our Google numbers.
Mm-hmm. You can call the office. You can, get to know us enough that we'll give you our real cell phones. There's tons of ways you can do this. Something that we're excited about also growing is the number of families participating in CSA. It's up a few. So that is exciting. So well done, people.
Thank you. And thank you for all, we have a lot. Father Ross was happy. We're keeping track of people that gave this year and then the people that have given for the first time this year, because that is part of the CSA Plus, is your first time giver.
Yes.
And he was like, oh my goodness, this list is so long. And these are all people that, see our vision here at St. Jude with revealing Jesus and everything that we have going on, going in a positive way. So
well, and with the pastoral plan looming, a lot of people are worried about that, and I think something that's very comforting for our community here, while we are praying with other churches in Erie, is the fact that Father Ross is not up here saying, well, let's see what happens. He's up here saying, well, we need to make a 5-year plan. Now, obviously the pastoral plan will affect St. Jude's in some way, but it's really nice for me anyway, at least, to hear the pastor being like, here's what we're going to spend our money on. We're going to spend our money actually planning and laying a foundation for the future. So that is really exciting. So it is a cool time. It's a great time to be a part of St. Jude's. If you want to join the parish, feel free to check out our website, stjude.church. Click on new members, and there's this cool thing with Flock Note. You can get in, and there's also new ways to sign up that is coming soon. But that's a teaser trailer for another time.
And then we have all our mass intentions and our sanctuary candle and all that good stuff. Mm-hmm. There are just a few masses left. They're all mostly during the week.
Yes.
Our weekend masses are all taken. I think we have a couple 9 o'clock things
here and there, but
very rare.
Yeah, close to Christmas.
Yeah,
which is weird to say, but it will be here soon.
But we are taking we keep the calendar open all year. It doesn't close, so you can go ahead and schedule for 2025. I know that's weird to say since it's only March, but
a lot of people have been asking already. So
we've been doing that. So.
Mm-hmm. So, in the reflection this week from our Magnificid resources that we take a look at, there's some stuff here. This column in the bulletin, I think, I could be wrong, but I think is about to disappear, and I'm excited that it's going to vanish. Not because I'm not excited about families praying together, but we're gonna actually take this bit and put it into a 3 to 4 page children's bulletin that we will be putting out soon. So we'll have cool, graphics, different things on it. If anybody wants, I think one thing we should do, what do you think about that? I was just spitballing here.
Sure.
We should have kids submit bulletin covers.
Yes.
Bible stories. Like they can color a picture.
Yeah.
Draw a picture of it, and the best one maybe we could put it on the front of the children's bulletin. So be sure to keep an eye out for that, because I think this is going to be the first edition coming out in a couple weeks.
And we also want our the older children, not just like the young,
not little kids. No,
we want the children like middle school, high school, and some even our time into our young adults too, to get involved in this project too with the children's bulletin, and to maybe submit an article or submit something that you think that has been beneficial in your life. We want this to be, as we do with our own bulletin, we put a lot of stuff from a lot of people in here. So, we want the children's bulletin to be aimed at the younger people, but everybody's welcome to read it, and we're going to share it all over the place.
It's going to be everywhere. You won't miss it. So, but for now, it's still in here. So just there's this beautiful prayer. This whole thing is about, just people coming to Christ, all of these different things, how to strengthen your friendships. So that's really cool. But there's this really cool prayer at the bottom about just abandoning yourself and focusing on other people, and just living in the circumstances that you have, because sometimes it can be really difficult to love others when your circumstances are difficult.
That was, that's a great segue into to Father John Malthaner from over at St. Luke's celebrated our school liturgy today. And his homily was
so good.
So incredibly powerful. He used some, some items to represent everything, but it was about how we let the stuff fill up our lives.
Yeah.
And he was talking about reconciliation with God and stuff like that, and letting God fill our lives instead. So, this prayer, surrendering ourselves to whatever God wants us to do.
Yes, it's so just take a look at it. I don't want to spoil it for you. So go read that, especially as a family. It can be a beautiful moment to just sort of all together commit yourself to that. Speaking of commitments, we're getting good at these segues.
I know,
we're
right?
crushing it today. Not that we're not, self-absorbed, but whatever. We've got the excuse me.
We don't rehearse, actually.
We
it's
really
really
don't.
fun.
We've just been doing this enough times. We're getting better at it. So we got the upcoming events. The St. Jude calendar is on the website. If you go to the link that we have up there, or just go to the website, stjude.church, and click on calendar, you can see it. But the stuff that's happening this week, there is a lot of stuff, and it's exciting. So as always, the staff or a staff member will be around in the back of church after all the masses to answer any questions or take care of you if you need something.
With an extra special bonus this weekend because it is St. Patrick's Day on Sunday, so we're going to have a little bit of something for everybody.
That'll be fun. Will it be green? I hope it's green.
Oh, and of
whatever
course.
It is.
There's no other way to go.
It's got to be green. All right. So, and then Monday, of course, we have Mom's group. It will be in the youth room this time, at least, or maybe in the chapel, depending on what you ladies want to do.
Right.
Because the distinguished Michael DeSanctis will be giving how did he put it in the flyer? There's a great wording here later on. I don't know where it went. It's here somewhere. Anyway, here we go. Yes. Why would anyone leave early? 6 reasons Catholics attend Christ's Paschal Banquet, then skip the dessert. Michael E. DeSanctis, Ph.D., Professor and Emeritus of Fine Arts and Theology at Gannon University, Scholar in Residence for Sacred Sites and Artifacts in the Jefferson Educational Society, will be giving a talk about this beautiful liturgy, and just especially that moment after communion. That'll be on Monday, March 18th in the Founders Room, which is why the moms have to move. Sorry, ladies.
Unless you want to come earlier in the day, and he is having a 1:30 in the afternoon presentation. So.
1:30 on Monday. We'll be here. We can go. It'll be great. And then his evening presentation will be 6:30 to 8 p.m. So 1:30 to 3, and then 6:30 to 8, twice in a day. If it's really good the first time and you want to come again, feel free. So there's that. That's coming up. And then
Faith Formation is back on this coming Tuesday, the 19th. Yay.
It's been a month.
We had
I'm ready.
A lot of weeks off.
I'm excited. So. Hopefully they remember us. No, it's going to be, excuse me.
And then
there's
be
a fun one.
As always, 6:30 Mass. And then there's the Job Bible study. We're continuing on with the book of Job. It's actually amazing. The conversation every week is so great. Barb and Victoria do an amazing job leading us and worship and praying with us through it. It's just really good.
It's always, I've led a lot of Bible studies, and I've been a part of a lot of Bible studies, and it's the thing that kind of makes or breaks any Bible study is how much the facilitators of the Bible study believe in the study itself. Like, all of us love the scriptures, of course, but when there's a certain part of the Bible that really speaks to somebody, and they really enter into it, like those facilitators, really, the Spirit always works through. I feel like those people better, and these two wonderful women are crushing it.
Yeah.
So they really believe in it. So it's not just a thing where we're like, oh, go check out this, just another Bible study. No, it's a good one. It's a really good one.
And everybody comes every week. So
Absolutely.
And we have a nice full Founders Room, so it's pretty awesome.
So what is that, like 15 people, 20 people?
Over 20, yeah.
Over 20? That's fantastic. I love that. All right, Wednesday is our usual busy, crazy day. This upcoming week is the Emmaus dessert drop-off, so please have your desserts in the south entrance of the church by 11:30.
Yeah,
on the bench.
There.
There's a bench there. Sometimes there's like a little table as well just inside the church door. People put stuff on.
There is that correct? There's no school.
No school mass because there, excuse me, jumping to Friday, there will be Stations of the Cross, living Stations of the Cross, which will be in the afternoon, I think, and then also in the evening, if I'm not mistaken. But in here, the public, 7 p.m.
Yeah.
So check that out.
Going
Rewind
back to
today, March 21st. The light is on for you. If you need to go to confession, if you haven't been to confession yet this Lent, or if you've gone and you need to go again, or just want to go again, there is literally not a church in Erie. There's probably a couple, but most churches in Erie for a couple of hours starting at 5 will have the lights on, and there will be a priest in the confessional to hear your confession. So you don't have to come to St. Jude's for that. You can go to a church that's nearest you. Sometimes, for me personally, I like to go to a different church and a different priest to confession.
There
myself.
are a variety of priests going to be here
on that day here
yeah.
specifically. Okay,
yeah.
so
there's 4 of them. Yeah,
there are certain places where priests are gathering too. So check that out. Feel free to come. Don't be afraid. If you've been away from the sacrament for a while, consider this an invitation to come home. If you know someone who is nervous about going to confession, who hasn't been in a long time, you could be that person. To just invite them and assure them that it's okay. You know, all the priests that are coming are very kind and very loving men. They want to forgive you. So please come and do that. If you have any questions about confession as well, feel free to call the office. We're happy to talk to you and overcome any fears with you that you might have about that. And then Saturday, this is exciting. We've got the poverty simulation.
Yes.
And the food packing. That's from 9:30 to 3, but there is a break in the middle.
There's kind of a break, and there's kind of a time that you can, come and go to. Mm-hmm. So I am leading the poverty simulation starting at 9:30 in the morning. If you are interested in this, I do need you to sign up as soon as possible because there's some pieces of the puzzle that I need to have ready for that day. And then we're going to do food packing after that with Rise Against Hunger. That'll be there's a variety of churches joining us for that event, which is going to be fun too. So with the poverty simulation, I do hope to see, a lot of us there. We have a lot of volunteers coming to help out with that. So it'll be fun. If you go to Bible study with Roy, obviously go ahead and do that.
Yes.
And then come over to pack food with Rise Against Hunger. We do need all hands on deck.
Because we got, and it would be great to have St. Jude's well represented, but there's going to be tons of people. From other churches, not other parishes, other churches, other Christian denominations. I know we got people coming from just down the way there, Wayside. We got people from there. Where else? You think of any other ones?
I don't remember where they were from.
We'll have to look it up. But anyway,
there's a few. Getting
it's
contacted.
exciting.
They're like, "Can we join you?"
Yeah,
sure.
Sure. Yes.
So, and then regular mass on Saturday.
Most of the bulletin is full of flyers about things that we just talked about. So you can check all of those out. But there are a couple more things. First of all, we had a question from the pew. We had a father and son duo come up to me this past Sunday and ask, and I quote, "Why do we sing the song 'Jesus Remember Me' as the closing song every Sunday in Lent? It is so repetitive and boring." And welcome to the Catholic faith. No, it's not boring, but it is repetitive. And why is that? Well, the simple answer that I kind of came up with was to keep our focus on what Jesus is doing in our lives. Our eyes are fixed on Jesus, and the song keeps that theme. Mm-hmm. And then I kind of wrote a little reflection.
Well, you asked the son too that day too. Mm-hmm. When did Jesus say?
Yeah, when did Jesus say it? Do you know? And that's kind of where I sort of, this reflection was based off his and my discussion of just being like, do you realize like this prayer, the words of the song, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom." That's Saint Dismas on the cross, and when you kind of stop and look at the scene, when you think about what he said and why he said it, and if you go and look up the scripture, the story where the good thief sort of recognizes Jesus' divinity and his own brokenness, he says that the punishment he's receiving, crucifixion, corresponds with his crimes. Like, this is not necessarily a good dude, and yet he's recognizing his need to be saved. But the bad thief, or the other thief, whatever, he in the moment is asking Jesus to fix his circumstances. He says, if you are who you say you are, come down from the cross, save yourself and us. And Dismas is like, no. Dismas focuses on eternity. So it's lots of stuff we can think about, and that's sometimes what repetitive prayer can do for you. Like, for example, the rosary. The rosary is extremely repetitive. It's the same prayer over and over, but you're not supposed to necessarily be thinking about the prayer as much as you are the mystery that you are praying with in the rosary. But that repetitive prayer just sort of helps your mind stay focused on the mystery instead of like, okay, I'm just going to sit and think about the the crucifixion for 20 minutes. Instead, I'm going to pray this prayer, and it's going to kind of calm my brain so that I can think about that. So it's really neat. So anyway, that's why, more or less, my opinion.
You did that too when you came back and song during Celebrate Recoveries. We start in worship every week. Just some praise and worship music, and Tim played it, and Tim went back to the same line over and over again in between songs, which was very just it's meditative. It doesn't, if you stop and think that you're saying the same thing all the time and you meditate on those words, then it's a nice reflection.
And when you start to apply it to life, I mean, that's the only thing with prayer, and that's what I would encourage everyone to do this Lent with the readings, with the liturgy as we approach the Triduum. Instead of just thinking about, the cataclysmic, amazing impact that this has on eternity, which it does, and that's great to think about as well, but to really stop and think, how does this impact my life? And by impact, I mean imprint upon, like it hit you, does this, what person does this inspire you to love better? Which person who seems unforgivable do you now think maybe you could forgive, whatever it is. So think about it, but there you go. If you have a question about the Mass, the faith, why Father Ross has his hair the way that he does, I don't know. Feel free to ask. We want to keep this questions from the pew thing going, because if you have a question, odds are someone else does too. So please ask.
And flipping back a page also, Tim reflected on Triduum, and then Palm Sunday, which is actually a lot closer than we think.
Next week,
right? So all the times of masses are listed in the bulletin. They are for the whole time there. So
get it on the calendar,
and we'll talk about it next week.
Yes, we will.
But just to let you know, it is right around the corner. It's not that far away anymore.
A couple of things. Uno's tip of the week. Uno is the sheep that ran away from the 99 that Jesus went after. Also the flock note symbol. So if you haven't signed up for flock note, do that. But tip of the week from Uno is, do you have a favorite Bible verse that has impacted your life? If so, share it with someone today. If not, open up the Word of God and let the Holy Spirit reveal one to you today. Don't wait. Another fun thing that you could do, it'd be fun to talk about it next week. If any of you do have a favorite Bible verse that you really like, please email me or Sarah or any of us, and just be like, hey, my favorite Bible verse is this. It'd be fun to just have some different examples next time. So feel free to do that. Also, big shout out to Noah Allen. He just joined the church, our parish, obviously, as well.
Yeah.
Full communion, got baptized, confirmation, first communion. So we're really excited. He's a great guy and now a great Catholic. We're really, really happy to have him in the church.
His wife and two girls are amazing too. The girls celebrated their first reconciliation recently. So
that's so fun.
It was it's been fun to celebrate sacraments
They're
with them.
They're just excited. And it's funny because as a cradle Catholic, you kind of sit there and, like we said, the repetitiveness, the mundaneness, sometimes what it feels like. And so to see someone come into the church, is just very fun because they're so excited, and when you listen to the prayers that are said and the challenges and that are made and the all this stuff, you kind of like, wow, this is a big deal, and then you're like, oh, I have this. I am this already. So anyway, so it's a beautiful thing. Again, we already talked about Mom's Group, we talked about this. Oh, this is big. This is exciting. You want to talk about this a little bit?
I don't know much about it. I am going to it just because of the lineup of speakers. On Thursday, March 21st, Sacred Heart is hosting Look Who's Coming to Dinner, an evening of Eucharistic dialogue.
Ooh.
And it's open to the public. It's an ecumenical dialogue. The Reverend Dr. Paris Baker, Reverend Melinda Hall, Reverend Brittany Knight, the pastor of Sacred Heart, Mark O'Hearn, and Jesse Hubert is going to be moderating it. So it's going to be amazing. I can guarantee
it's a
that.
Cool discussion.
I've heard some of these people speak before. Obviously Father Mark O'Hearn a lot, but I've heard Dr. Paris Baker give different types of talks, and I appreciate all of his. So I'm super excited. I know I'm going. It's not an option. It's been embedded in my calendar. I'd love to see anybody who want to join me there. First time, going out and just reaching out to our community too.
Sure.
Like I said, this is a community event, so there'll be a variety of different people from all different faiths there, and I'm super excited about it.
Yeah, I think that is a massive thing in our culture, the need to just sort of talk to each other, especially across denominational lines. So again, we talked about stations. This Rise Against Hunger. If you haven't noticed already, we're bringing up food to the altar every week to symbolize our giving. We've been just so amazed and just overwhelmed by the generosity of people with our GCAC. GCAC?
GCAC.
GCAC. I've been hanging out with Jesse. He says GCAC. I'm like, nope, that's wrong. Sarah's always saying it right. But yeah, wonderful response. So much food.
And like Father said too, we're filling those baskets that are on the altar, and that was the design of this.
Yeah.
So we're giving back to the community. So thank you for your Lenten help with those bags, and we're continued to our food pantry. Jesse just had the FBLA students fill up his vans to take it over to the food pantry. So
a lot of food. They were working for a while. Yeah. So we appreciate it. We already talked about the children's bulletin that'll be coming out, but we also have this Easter magazine. Father Ross wants to start a publication of just different things that are going on in the parish. So I don't know if this will be once, twice, 3 times a year, but there will be more than one, I'm sure. But you can check out that. That's going to be coming. We're going to be looking for input on it. So please check that out.
So if you want to give feedback on anything that you did during Lent, we appreciate that, because we want to know if that's something that needs to continue throughout the whole year.
Absolutely.
If that's something that we just bring back every Lent. What new things you think we should do. We're always up for those things. If you've taken any pictures at any of the events, we want all that shared with us.
Stuff. Yep.
And we'll be definitely, putting some of those things in the magazine. I know I had the pretzel and the pierogies, so both of those recipes are going to be in there.
Okay.
Because people were asking, so super fun.
That will be awesome.
Yeah.
So please check that out.
I can talk about this whole last page, couldn't I?
I know. I was going to say, this is sort of your page here. So
after Holy Thursday, I think I've talked about this before. After Holy Thursday, we did this last year. We're going to do a pilgrimage, and actually Tim's actually helping with this part too. He's reflecting on different places that we can be Jesus, the places that need Jesus, places that, how did Father Ross put it?
The theme is Beatitudes. And so to give credit where credit is due, in all humility, Father Ross pointed me in the right direction of this, because I was sort of reflecting on you wanted the theme to be Beatitudes, and so to go to places to pray, and I was thinking about go to places to pray where it reminds us of the Beatitudes, right? So I'm sitting there going, but what was funny about it was I kept coming back to St. Jude's or to the Catholic Church. I'm just like, well, blessed are the poor in spirit. Well, where do you go when you're poor in spirit? You go to church, So I'm like, this isn't working. We're just going to be at St. Jude's all night. And Father Ross was just like, no, we're revealing Jesus to the community. So it's not so much we're going there to think about how we are poor in spirit. We're going there to the place maybe where we know that a group of people or something that represents being poor in spirit that we could bring the Spirit too. And I was like, oh, well, that makes sense. So it's going to be it's going to be neat. It's going to be a cool reflection about how we can be beatitude. Beatitude simply means blessing. So how we can be blessed and then be the blessing for someone else. That's going to be kind of, I think.
And don't worry, we feed you in between the Feast of the Lord's Supper. Have a short little meal, like a quick thing, and then we get in our cars and we're going to travel. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then last but not least, we are still looking for donations for our college students. I have a list of names. These college students appreciate it beyond belief. And again, if you know a college student that you think would appreciate getting something from the church, please let us know. We're taking names all the time, but donations are always helpful, and either monetary or if you want to bring me a big box of bulk goods or something like that. Sam's Club gift card. There's a bunch of places online that I shop that have bulk items. So
absolutely,
yeah, super fun. We're always feeding the people and in their heart, in their mind, body, and soul, right? Yeah.
So last, but I guess to just wrap it up, this is a very long episode. So thank you for those of you who have stuck with us to the end of this one. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching every week. And the reason that some of these things are so long is because there is so much going on, and there is more to come. Again, if you have ideas, thoughts, we've said this like 3 times in this episode. We'll say it one more time. If you have feedback, things you want to see, it may not necessarily be exactly how you envisioned it, but sometimes that's how God works. Someone has an idea and you give it to someone else, and their idea mixes with your idea, and then that goes to this person and they mix it all together, and God's will is done. Jesus is revealed, and it's fantastic. So with all that said, thank you so much for watching. On behalf of Father Rob, I'm just kidding.
On behalf of Diana,
on behalf of
all
Diana
of the
and
cleaning
all
team.
Italians everywhere. No, Father Ross is Italian.
Yes,
so there it is.
Am I.
And I'm Irish. So happy St. Patrick's Day. Absolutely. All right. Well, all right. We know of our prayers for you, and we pray for you every day. Please pray for us too. God
Have
bless.
a great week.